For the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution. Because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children. And not for coworkers either. And yes, that includes you, Cindy. I'm sorry, but your perfume is about to make me physically ill. I could smell you when you got out of your car.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's just another old boring day of boring stuff, of boring things that are happening. Welcome back. Yeah. Rumble.com/JJW. Today is April 11th, 2023. And let's see. The title of today's show is, let me read what says there.
I'm kind of...
Dalai. You don't want me to say it?
No,
it's not good.
I know. I'm kind of scared when you put it up on the screen. So do it again.
I'm not going to put it on the screen. Dalai Lama Pedo drama. That's today's episode title. It's longer if you read the title card. It's gross. Hi, I'm horrifyingly disgusted, and this is my co-host who's extremely uncomfortable. And we're gonna talk about the Dalai Lama today. If that's what the fuck, dude. It's like every single day. It's like, oh, hey, I bet you didn't think the world was going to be weird like this today.
Hi, JJ.
Hey, I'm going to try to, this is something I should be doing, but I'm not doing very well. I should probably preview some of the stories that we're going to talk about. Just like, hey, we're going to talk about this and this and this and this, right?
Oh, I usually do.
Yeah.
The ones that I post, I usually will skim through them like I do with everything else. I don't read them verbatim, word for word, but I skim through a bunch of stuff so I can get the gist of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Dalai Lama. I think we'll probably talk about the Kentucky shooter a little bit. We're gonna talk about Biden and his social media army. And we got some entertainment news at the back end a little bit. So we got a variety of stuff. Every morning we meet here at 6:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and we drink coffee and talk about the news. We talk about politics. We talk about entertainment. We talk about whatever's interesting to us as, a couple of old dads. So good morning.
Old boring guys that nobody gives
boring guys.
It should have been a phone call, JJ. Where's our where's
phone
that?
Call? I don't know. It's down there. Here it is. Hey, you guys should just call each other from the what's that? What's the word that means unique? Like, unique. the standout. Okay. All right. All right.
Before we get into your story, I'm going to start things off nice with my song of the day.
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday I did Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys featuring Tommy Duncan, Western Swing. All right. Today we are jerking the car and making a complete 90-degree turn. And have you ever heard, do you like funk, 70s funk, JJ?
It depends. It depends.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Like Parliament, stuff like that.
Parliament. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that type of
I've listened to some George Clinton a little bit.
All right, cool. So George Clinton found this band back in the day. It was a group of brothers, the Troutman brothers. All right, and they had some other people that played with them, but you probably have never heard of the Troutman brothers, have you?
No,
the Troutman brothers had this band called the Zap Band. All right, and then they had this band called Zap and Roger. Roger was one of the brothers, Roger Troutman. You've probably heard of Roger Troutman because they were pioneers. The Zap Band in the 70s were pioneers of the talk box. Roger because he got famous in the early 90s because Dre put him and Tupac put him on that song, and he is the one that goes, California love.
Oh, okay.
That's Roger from Zapp and Roger. And everybody who knew Zapp and Roger knew that was Roger because he's got the talk box thing. Roger was killed by his brother in the late 90s. Like
Oh,
his brother shot him, killed him, and then his
oh,
brother killed
wow.
himself. And I don't know any of
Oh,
the mess behind any of that Marvin Gaye
wow.
type crap, but the Zap band is awesome. Zap and Roger are awesome. So listen, if you like funk, George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic found them and kind of brought them to the head. So listen to More Bounce to the Ounce by Zap and Roger. It's on their greatest hit album. But
Bounce to the ounce. Hold on.
yeah,
I'm
more,
gonna.
and it's cool funk, man. That whole album is just really good. Computer Love and No Rough, No Tough.
I'm gonna
Um,
listen here for a second here.
Heard It Through the Grapevines on that album are cool. It's cool stuff, man. It's cool, funky, awesome.
That beat sounds like it was sampled for California Love, to be honest.
Well, you will listening to this type of stuff. If you
Yeah,
listen to modern music and like R&B and stuff like that, hip hop and stuff, you will hear a lot of samples of if you go and listen to their Heard It Through the Grapevine, just click on the Heard It Through the Grapevine and listen to that for a minute, and you'll be like, oh, I've heard that in 1,000 movies.
right.
Where they're segueing through the neighborhood, the urban neighborhood or something. They got the funk playing or something. That's
Yeah. So that
I've heard
gets
that in a
that track
million
gets used a
movies.
lot.
Yeah. So Zapp and Roger are awesome. I figured since we did Western Swing yesterday, I would do a little Parliament or some.
Hey, we gotta come up with a way to
funk.
do like a playlist, like all the songs that you recommend for like Deacon's music
Deacon's playlist
recommendations.
today. We're
Yeah,
adding to the playlist. We'll do
we
that.
should
Song of
we
the day.
should come
We'll
up with
do
like an actual playlist. Let me see if I
okay.
can now I don't remember the prior 20 songs. I have to go back
I don't
and
either, but
listen.
we'll start with yesterday. I'll make a
Okay.
list. I'll start keeping a list over
Send
here.
me a note and I'll
Okay.
anyway, we'll put them on a playlist. You can get some
Okay.
funky music. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's pretty cool. I was gonna listen to this one here.
Yeah, listen to that. It's a good one. But listen to it after the show.
All right, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like
Expand
that.
your
Okay.
minds. Expand your minds. Expand your musical tastes, please.
Last thing before we get started, guys, we know you're here. We're glad you're here. Good morning. But we only know you're here if you're chatting, if you send a comment or chat or something like that, then we kind of like really know you're here. So if you guys are here, just put a period in them. Minimum effort. we'll holler at you. All right. Okay. Deacon. What do you get? Hey, I got a riddle for you.
Are we telling jokes now? Okay.
Oh, yeah, this would be a great joke. What do you get when an 87-year-old man asks a little boy to suck his tongue?
Really fucking creeped out is what you get.
Oh, shit.
Extremely uncomfortable is what you get. And wanting to punch a holy leader in the face is what you get.
What is this dude's what? Okay, so I am not a Buddhist. I'm not Tibetan. I'm not into that stuff. I have seen this dude on movies and TV appearances. I saw him once, like on the Nixium sex cult special. Yeah. So like I've seen this dude around, but like I don't care about the Dalai Lama. I don't think he's like a holy dude. I think he's just another dude, and he's got some people like thinking he's got a holy job. But apparently, he was at like a meet and greet or whatever. He's hanging out with people, and a little boy comes up and wants to give him a hug, and so he takes his hat off.
I think it's a little more than that. I think it's like this was like a very honored thing for this boy to get up here and
Sure,
be the Dalai Lama or whatnot. But yeah,
right up until the point where his holiness says, hey, suck my tongue, and then sticks his tongue out.
Are you gonna put the story up?
Oh,
I got a train coming, so it's gonna get loud.
Yeah.
For me, but I didn't know if you read the story on how the interaction went. If you haven't, it kind of makes you wonder if when every little kid comes up and meets the Dalai Lama, if that's not like some sort of weird interaction that he does, and this was just one of the, you know what I mean? I've got the fucking
right.
train. I've got to.
Yeah. So like you would think like, oh wow, that's disgusting and gross. Why aren't all the people around him like? Why aren't they like, oh my God, he just asked that boy to suck his tongue. I can't believe it. Instead, they're just sitting there like, it's like Tuesday. It's like Tuesday. He's doing this. He must know what he's doing. He's the holiest.
Yeah, because all the people around him were like, after he got caught, they were like, "Oh, he's just playing.
He
He's
was
silly.
teasing. He likes
teasing."
to
And I'm
rib
like,
those young
and
boys.
even all the Hindu people that I was reading their comments and people that like follow him were like, "What the fuck? WTF, yo? What is going on? Why are you doing this?" And they're like, "He's just playing." And they're like, "Bullshit, he's just playing."
Yeah.
Y'all were okay with this until he got caught.
Yeah.
And now y'all are backpedaling, and you expect the world to just be like, give him a free pass because he's some holy leader in your religion.
Yeah.
You shit on our religion every fucking day. Okay? You piss and shit on Christianity every day. I'm not just addressing Hindus. I'm addressing
Yeah.
the
Media.
world.
Media, journalists.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So why should I respect your so-called holy leader when he is obviously a pedophile?
Right. Look.
Your whole
We're not.
religion has lost points because of this. Not just your holy leader, your whole religion.
That's a good point. There's
But
only been 14 Dalai Lamas. If there's only been 14 Dalai Lamas, only one that we know of so far. Only one seems to be a
right.
pedophile.
Just because y'all don't blame the one priest, you blame all of Christianity. So that's why we're doing this.
Oh yeah.
They've had the same. You don't think that we want to go and cut the balls off of every one of these so-called priests as well? Catholic priests? Don't get me started on Catholicism.
Yeah, right.
All right.
So in a statement, Monday, the office for the Dalai Lama, it wasn't even him that said this. It's like his secretary.
Yeah.
The office for the Dalai Lama said he wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words have caused, adding he regrets the incident. He regrets the incident. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras.
Okay. So this is what we need to do then. If His Holiness often teases people in this way, we need to have a decency talk with this old fucking man. Okay? Because he is a dirty old fucking man at this point. All right? So if y'all are
No,
okay with
okay.
this, are you
No,
okay
see,
with
I think let me I'm sorry. I'm gonna read a few more sentences here.
Okay.
I think right now you're just like, oh, come on, that's fucked up and gross. No, when I finish these couple sentences here, you're gonna be like, fuck the Dalai Lama. Okay.
Great.
Yep. Okay. In the video, the boy asked the Nobel Peace Prize winner, "Can I hug you?" And the 87-year-old spiritual leader invites the boy on stage and points to his cheek. First here, prompting the boy to give him a hug and a kiss.
Yep.
Then the Dalai Lama points to his lips and says, "And I think here also." And he pulls the boy's chin and kisses him on the mouth. "And suck my tongue." "And suck my tongue," he says. No. Fuck the Dalai Lama. He's a pedophile. Oh my gosh.
So what's the world going to do? What's the Hindu people going to do? Because I've read some translations of what the reactions of some of these Hindu people, and they are
I haven't
disgusted.
seen that. I have not seen that. What have they said?
They're very disgusted by his actions. You know, as would normal Christian people are.
Normal anybody.
Normal anybody.
Normal. You don't have to be Christian to be like, pedophile's wrong. No, like that's the general human sentiment is like, so
but
disgusting.
It's really not. It's really not the general human sentiment, JJ. I mean, it's the decent human sentiment, but look throughout history.
No. It's not like this particular malady is unique to him. That's for sure. It's, I mean, there was just like a couple hundred Catholic like priests or something in the news the other day that were all outed for like sex crimes or whatever. So like it's not like it's unique to this guy or to Tibetans or whatever. So there are bad people everywhere. And listen, moms of kids, dads of kids, don't trust anybody. Protect your children. And don't even think that somebody that's His Holiness is a good guy. All right.
Speaking of His Holiness,
Yeah.
there's a new supposed Dalai Lama.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they believe in reincarnation, and so
explain this to me, because tell me how this makes sense.
I don't understand how. I don't know much about it because I have not educated myself on it.
Sure.
I had a Hindu friend in college that came over here, and we were close friends. His name was Gaurav, and he could play guitar better than freaking anybody. He was like, I always joked that he was Eric Clapton's love child because he was so good. But we talked about Hinduism quite a bit because he was Hindu and we were Christian, and we talked quite a bit. We were all open.
Sure.
We didn't, hate on each other.
Right.
He'd gotten a lot of that. So I really don't understand. We talked about this, but I don't understand. I would think that the current Dalai Lama would have to be dead before a new, that they could find the new. But this Dalai Lama and this 8-year-old kid were photographed together at a ceremony. This new kid is, I think he was from Arizona.
It says, the one in this story, it says Mongolian boy named Agwadai. The 10th, okay, Kak Justin Dampa Rinpoche, and third highest leader of the Tibetan Muslim. I'm just reading what it says at the top.
Okay, he has dual nationality. Okay, so that's why. He is one of a pair of twin boys. Born in the U.S. in 2015. He has dual nationality and is at least 2 other siblings. So I really thought he was from Arizona. He was born in Arizona, but he is Mongolian. They've chosen him as the new Dalai Lama, basically, this boy.
Oh.
He's 8 years old.
Look how convenient this is. The family of Agwadai is considered to be one of Ulaanbaatar's wealthiest business and political dynasties. Isn't that?
It's amazing how the Dalai Lama was born into the richest family.
Isn't that crazy?
That's weird.
Nuts. Yeah. His mother is chairman and CEO of a large business that's centered on construction and mining. His grandmother.
It's almost like the holiest figure is not really chosen by God. It's chosen by a group of men in a room with a chimney.
Okay. Just explain to me how this boy can be the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama.
I don't understand.
Dalai Lama's over there trying to suck boys.
I'm not doing this. I don't understand the religion. I don't understand their belief in reincarnation. From my mythical Dungeons and Dragons belief of reincarnation, your spirit has to be gone from the one.
You would think.
So, I mean, that's just from my nonfiction reading world of magic and make believe. But
if you were like took a candle and you used that candle to light another candle, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, I relit the candle from nothing. No, what are you talking about? So
that's
whatever.
I just thought with the Dalai Lama, crazy Dalai Lama story, I thought, this was kind of went hand in hand with that story yesterday.
It's all over the place, and it's getting covered, but it's getting covered, and it looks like it's going to get it's not going to get dwelled on by major media.
No.
You can find this story on Fox News, Time Magazine, Washington Post, NBC News. They're all covering it, and they're all covering with Dalai Lama says he was innocent and playful. Dalai Lama apologizes. Dalai Lama under fire. Dalai Lama apologizes. They're going to sweep this shit under the rug.
They are, because the media protects the pedophiles.
Yeah. All right.
They don't care about you.
All right. Deke, we need to talk about the shooting in Kentucky yesterday.
I can't find a number. I've thought it was 4. I've heard you Google it. It'll say anywhere from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
From what I'm getting officially is 4 people are dead, and there's several that were
My
injured,
understanding,
wounded, critically wounded.
yeah, my understanding yesterday was that 4 were dead, 1 was, like, critically wounded, and then, like, several were, like, in in the hospitalized.
I
And
and I'm one of these people that don't like to glorify these assholes, so
right.
if you would not say their name, I would appreciate it because I don't
Honestly,
wanna give them
I don't
any
even
kind of
know. Oh, I do know his
glorification or
name.
anything because that's
Yeah,
what they used to do. Those assholes used to
yeah.
do that shit, so
I
I
won't
I
even pull this
I'm
picture up.
I'm
I'm not even
all
pull this for
about
you.
yeah, I'm all about that in the media and stuff, not saying their fucking
So
name and not doing so nobody knows who they are. I don't care. I don't want vengeance like that.
right.
I don't
So
want them to get any kind I don't want their name. I don't want their name remembered.
okay. Um, so and this was not the only. There was actually another shooting. There was a shooting at a college campus yesterday too, also
Well, that
in
one got
Louisville.
overshadowed by Louisville.
Yeah,
Or by the
yeah.
well, it was at
And
a
but
college campus in Louisville too?
I think so. I think it was at and but now that one only like one. I think there was only one victim other than the shooter. So I didn't. I don't
Oh,
have the
is
details on that.
what are they gonna I mean, I hate to be the calloused, jaded
Right.
son of a bitch here, but what are we spinning this one as? Because the guy was currently employed by the bank. The bank was a high fucking falutin bank. This wasn't your goddamn branch bank down the fucking street, okay? First of all, people, you need to realize this. I don't know if the rest of the country has heard this or not, but when I heard this yesterday, I was like, whoa, hold on. What? Steve Bashir, no, not Steve, that's his dad. Andy Bashir is the governor of Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah.
His dad was the governor of Kentucky. They are a very powerful family, rich family. Okay. He's not just some fluky guy. They're a very powerful family. And Andy said yesterday, he was like, I'm really close friends with 2 of the people that were killed and I'm good friends with one of the other guys that was
Yeah. Yeah. I
critically
saw his.
injured. And
Yeah.
I was like, wait a fucking second. You are close friends with 2 of the people that were killed? That tells me enormous amounts of information about the bank, about that bank. That's
Oh,
not
really?
your average little branch bank. If that had 2 people that were there in the offices that worked there that were personal friends of the governor of a state, then that was a
Right.
very important bank. It had some important people. It had some shit going on there that wasn't everyday banking shit. So you probably need to put that into consideration. This guy worked there. He was probably under all kinds of freaking stress, and it wasn't the
Yeah.
I gotta count fucking money. It
Right.
was all kinds of other shit coming in from the state because our state right now, we have been battling for decades since Andy Bashir's father was in office. For decades now, we have been trying to get gambling passed in our state because right now all along the borders of Kentucky are is the rivers. The Ohio River goes
Yeah.
all along the fucking border of Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's the Ohio River. And all along the Ohio River from Illinois to Indiana to Ohio are all these river boats that are right across the fucking river. And so and then there's parts in Kentucky where you can go and sit on Kentucky side and ping off of Ohio and Indiana cell towers, and you can make your gambling bets and do your gambling bets and stuff that they were saying.
You
So
can't even do it like online or whatever.
I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
gamble.
like I'm not a gambler. I honestly think it just
I don't know.
it peels money
Anyway,
out of poor people. But
well, I do too, but their argument is that it takes money, it takes our money and puts it onto the other states. People are going to gamble. They're going to gamble.
right.
They're going to
Yeah.
go across the river and
That's
gamble, which
true.
I agree with that. So they just now, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, just passed it in Kentucky. A law that they have been trying to get passed for decades just got passed in Kentucky. So that very well may be some sort of added stressor that was
Right.
in this gigantic freaking bank. Because this wasn't once
So
again your little branch bank.
so this is what I know about that guy, that shooter. Apparently he was a like athlete in high school or college, and he had so many concussions that he was like
Really?
nicknamed Mr. Concussion. Yeah. Like his nickname was Mr. Concussion. He would have to wear a helmet, a hat, or some sort of padded hat when he was playing basketball. So
Wow.
he had a bunch of like trauma to his brain while
How
he was
why has
developing.
he got a big job like that where they're having
I think he would have he must have like worked through it because he ended up getting like I think a master's degree. I checked his LinkedIn profile yesterday floating around. It was like, here's the shooter, here's his LinkedIn profile, and if you sign into LinkedIn and then view his profile, it says it has his pronouns next to his name, and it has his degree and his uh, uh, work history. And it looks like he went to college, and then right out of college started working as an intern at this bank, and then was working at this bank for 2 years. He had gotten a promotion in the last year. He was working in like mortgages or something like that. But it seems that he maybe was about to get fired. There was maybe I read something that he was very possibly going to get fired, and he knew about it, and it just like flipped his switch in his head. And you know crazy, people, brain damage, stress,
you ever
threat
been
of
fired?
termination.
You ever been fired from a job?
Yeah, kind of.
Me too. Once.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, I was brought
It
into the office.
sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It really
Yeah,
sucks.
you get like torn up.
I got mad. And Kentucky is a state where they don't have to have a reason to fire you. Like my
Oh,
boss can
okay.
come in and go, "I don't like your hat, you're fired." And
Okay.
I can't
Right.
I'm
Right.
okay, I'm fired. That's Kentucky is
That's
not
kind
a
of like
right
the
it's
flip
not a
side
right
of
to
the
work
right
state.
of, yeah, right to
Not
work. You're
we're
right.
not a right to work state.
Oh,
Kentucky's
you're not
not.
a right. Oh,
No.
okay.
So, yeah, so that's I was brought in. We had a very successful morning show on a top 40 station that I worked for about a decade. And the guy came in. They were just wanting to go another because we had been there for a
Right.
decade, and they wanted to
Okay.
go with something
They
new.
need to change. They need to
They
shake
needed
something up
change.
to see if they can
I
grow.
understand that now,
Right.
but I was told I wasn't given a reason, and I was told that they could fire me for the shirt that I wear, for the clothes that I wear, and I'm like, I'm on
Oh
the
my god.
radio. So I
I'm wearing a shirt that has your radio station on it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I got mad and I told them I wasn't leaving the office until they gave me a legitimate reason. So for about 45 minutes, the dude was really pissed off, and he was
Right.
like, "You're just not good enough." And I was like, "Okay, that's a legitimate reason. I'll accept that. I don't agree with it because I was the number one more rated morning show
Right.
around. But yeah,
I
okay.
don't agree that I'm not good
Yeah,
enough.
being
I think I'm
fired
doing a great
sucks, but
job. It
but
does.
with
It
the
it's it
world today, there are there are legitimately all kinds of ways to make money with the internet and all the different ways to make money. JJ and
Yeah,
I could probably set if we after the show, if we sat down for an hour, we
right?
could probably come up with at
Yeah.
least one really good way that we could start making
Yeah.
money. Don't you think
Yeah.
me and you could make
Oh, dude, probably
supplement
like
our income?
if that's what we were like, if we were like, we want to start a store. Let's figure out a way that we could sell something. I
I
mean, we
mean,
can figure
other
that
than
out.
just like marketing our show and shit like
Yeah,
that, me and
yeah.
you
I
got
mean, like, I
you
mean,
can
like,
make money. So if you get
yeah.
fired,
I mean, consulting. You could start a consulting company. You know, you get a couple of,
and
you get a couple.
I doubt any kids are watching our show, but my daughter's got her first job. She works at a pizza
Oh,
place.
yeah.
She's never been fired. She's never had to deal with assholey managers yet and people that have a chip on their shoulder and
Right.
prick lazy ass employee or
And you know what?
coworkers. And she hadn't had to
Sometimes
deal with all this crap yet.
sometimes that manager that's an asshole is under pressure from the regional manager who's
Yeah.
under pressure from someone else, and they just pass that shit down. And
Because
you
people
do
aren't
have to,
perfect and they don't know how to deal with shit in their own lives a lot of
you
times.
gotta learn to, like, okay, if you think the world is like fair, and that you're gonna get a fair shake
That's what
sometimes,
cracks me up. Then I told my kids one day and they said that. They were like, "Come on, that's
that's not,
not fair." And I was like, "Life is not
the fuck are
fair.
you thinking?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but you people that are getting your feelings hurt."
yeah. That isn't how it works. So you've got to be able to take some hits and take some rolls sometimes. Take some hits, shake it off, move on. Not take some hits, not even take some hits. just don't show up to work and kill people. What the? That's the wrong fucking thing to do.
Yeah, you're right about that, about taking it, shaking it
Resilience.
off, going on. And
Yeah.
that's like even a thing that I told you one day. It was I've trained a lot of radio people. I told our podcast people this one day because this was a huge problem on our podcast. And it's a huge problem on a lot of podcasts with multiple people that don't have any kind of audio conversational experience like that.
Right.
Is they will, if this would, we used to do this on the podcast all the time. All right. It drove me nuts until I had to address it because this is a radio thing. And I've told a million radio people this. If you're talking and you accidentally mispronounce something while you're going through and saying, oh, I said blah, blah, blah instead of blah. Oh, did you say blah, blah, blah?
Right. You make
There's
a big
30
deal out of nothing.
seconds out of nothing. If
Yeah.
you were going along and you accidentally mispronounce something, just pronounce it the correct way and keep going and don't acknowledge it at all. There
Right.
will be, out of 100 people, there will be 2 that will
Right.
go, he said
Oh, I'm
mispronounce.
so mad you said his
2
name with
out
the
of
wrong
100.
emphasis.
And that was another thing about proper names and stuff. I will try to get them right when I've read their news for almost 30 years on
Right.
the, so I will try to get your last name right, but if I butcher it, I'm only reading it one freaking time, and
Right.
you're the only person that's getting upset about it. Out
Yeah.
of 1,000 people, I have one person because they are the only ones that know how to pronounce the last name, you know?
Honestly,
Like
if that's the thing that sticks into their mind 15, 20 minutes later, then you haven't said anything interesting in 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, so just roll with the punches.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in life is what I'm getting. It's a long way to go, but
I mean, I just don't understand why. Anyway, okay. So let's move on. Let's do something else. Well, we can stay on bank stuff. You got another bank story here.
I do.
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't
I
remember?
do. Yeah, I posted this morning. I thought this was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is
I
this is a
saw this
short.
yesterday, but the funny thing is that independently, I scour and find stories, and then Deacon scours and finds stories. And sometimes I pass over something, but it's not like I ignored it. I was just like, I just go through all of them and I try to grab the things that like I think most about. And then I see Deacon post something, and I was like, oh, I didn't grab that one, but I saw it.
But and you do that sometimes too, because I will go
Yeah.
over stories and then I'll see that you've posted it. But I've realized that after you start reading the story, you have found something that I didn't see in the story, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see it that way. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
hoping maybe the same way, because I found something in this story that I was like, oh, this is almost
All
sad.
right.
You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of sad. I thought about
Yeah. Okay.
this 78-year-old woman who is a bank robber is back in prison because she has tried to rob a bank again. A 78-year-old woman with 2 past bank robbery convictions faces new charges after authorities allege she handed a teller a note that said it was a note that was robbing the bank. Okay. The note said the note demanded $13,000 in small bills and also said, "Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." This lady's name is Bonnie Gooch. Once again, she's 78 years old. She is,
13,000 is really specific and not that much money.
I wonder, but this is what I'm getting. Okay, that you bring up that point. I will circle back around to that. She
Wow.
was also convicted of robbing a California bank in 1977, 46 years ago, and one
Okay.
in the Kansas City suburb of Lee Summit in 2020. All right. Her probation is the second highest. Her probation in the second highest ended in 2021. So she was so old. How old was she? They didn't, I don't guess they put her in, or they put her in prison for a little bit, but she had probation that ended a year later.
Right.
So the surveillance video captured her banging on the counter, asking the teller to hurry. She smelled strongly of alcohol when officers stopped her less than 2 miles away with cash scattered on the car's floorboard. "It's just sad," said the police chief, adding the suspect had no diagnosed ailments. She had no diagnosed ailments. She's 78 years old. JJ, this is a product of our prison system. She had been in
You think
prison
so?
for 46 years.
She
She
would.
knew nothing else. She was Brooks from Shawshank Redemption. She was
Okay.
Brooks from
You
Shawshank.
think you really think she was in
Not
prison for 40
survive.
years?
She was well, I don't know how long she was, but 1977 is 46 years ago because I was born in 1977.
Right. Well, I mean, that was when that robbery was. But did you think she got prison time for that whole time? I don't know. But you think she's
It was
institutionalized, and maybe
it
she's
was a
like,
different world back in the day.
I'm 78, and if I'm in prison, they're paying my health care, and
Hey, I got to talk real quick.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I was looking up. I'm trying to find the amount of the 2020. Yeah, here it is. So back in 2020, she was convicted, and she was convicted of stealing more than $750. In the 2020 conviction, she only asked for $3,000. $3,000. So this is crazy. This is crazy. So in 2020, she robbed this bank asking for $3,000. She got like a year or two probation, and then this time around she goes to ask for $13,000. She's asking for more money, maybe so that she gets a stiffer sentence.
Okay.
So in the 2020 heist, she asked for $3,000, Deacon.
Inflation's a bitch.
I think she asked for a larger number just to get put back in prison.
That's what I was going to say. I think that if she had to figure out what's the minimum amount. I think $13,000 is probably where that cutoff is of a class whatever to a class whatever. And I think that's probably.
She's like, well, 3,000 wasn't enough. I need to ask for more.
This morning, and the first thing popped into my mind was fucking that old actor Brooks from Shawshank Redemption, and him carving out Brooks was here, and him in that grocery store, and he just can't get along with the world today. And it's almost, in 1977, if she'd been in prison that long, she gets out in 2020.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's a lot. Take this back to 1977 and try to explain to somebody what this was, and they would lock your ass up, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Interesting. All right. Let's see. What else we have? We have some other interesting news. We're going to have to hit a bunch of these real quick.
Hit on. I'm going to go warm up my chai.
Okay. Joe Biden is attempting to deploy an army of social media influencers and station them in the White House, ladies and gentlemen. According to an Axios report, Joe Biden's campaign team is readying an army of social media influencers and wants to put them in the briefing room at the White House. His handlers have decided that the only way he's going to win another election against Donald Trump is by securing the youth vote, a tough task given that he's the oldest president in the history of the United States of America. Deputy Chief of Staff Jen O'Malley Dillon. Okay, that's a name. We're trying to reach young people, but also moms who use different platforms to get information, and climate activists and people whose main way of getting information is digital. Going after the brainwashed TikTok folks, I guess. Let's see. We got any other quotes here? So they're going to take a bunch of like Instagrammers, TikTokers. We definitely need to have Chinese TikTok running up in the White House. Don't you think? That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea.
You don't think that crap's already there? I couldn't
TikTok is banned on federal devices. It's banned on.
Pay my kids to stop using TikTok. And they don't, it's just a mind waster. It's not like they're making videos. They're sitting there.
So this has been kind of floating in the political ether for the last couple of weeks that Republicans want to ban TikTok in the United States. And it's like, this is the hill they're going to die on. TikTok is bad. It's bad news. It's probably being used by China to gather data on Americans.
Absolutely. Look at all of our kids and what the Chinese TikTok will show you what they look at, how long they look at it, what they skip through, what they're interested in, what they're interested in that will go and further, what they say, what they're posting about. Absolutely. TikTok. And I saw this somewhere and I heard this somewhere else here recently about TikTok. Or somewhere on a video, and I thought, man, that's exactly right. It was like TikTok or whatever knows your kids better than you know your kids. Maybe
It
not
no
you, JJ, because your kids are still little. But
I won't
I
let 'em
bet
touch
I
phone. Yeah.
bet social media knows my kids better than me, because when I ask my kids, "Hey, how was school today?" "It was good." "Oh, yeah? What happened?" "Ah, nothing." "Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
How was math class?" "Ah, it was good."
right.
I have to fucking, like,
Pry it out
chisel
of them.
the end of this
Yeah,
fucking rock to get any kind of information to
right.
be a good parent. I'm just trying to be a part of your life.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
wanna hang out with you and go partying.
So,
I'm just
my
trying to
kids
be a parent.
my kids are just in, like, preschool,
I
kindergarten, but
know but you will get to
ev
this.
every day, every single day, like, I make a point of it every single day before bed. I am like, "Tell me one good thing that happened at school today," and I make them, like, go back in their mind into the day and pick out something to tell me, but I'm doing it on purpose because, like, I'm gonna keep doing this
Mhm.
your whole
And
life.
talk to them. Not Don't
Yeah,
just ask them, but when they give
but
you have a
TikTok
conversation with them about it, you know?
TikTok no not only can know, I'm not saying they do, I don't know, but I mean, like, assume the worst, okay? Because this is a company owned by owned by a company in China, which is run by the CCP. So assume the worst. China knows China knows where you're at. It knows when you pick your phone up and are messing with TikTok. It has the camera aimed at you. It can be listening to you. And I've even heard that TikTok has a keylogger built in. So even if you're on some other app, it can trace what you're doing on the screen and it can capture your passwords or anything like that. So that's like the data security, data privacy argument against TikTok. But the more pernicious thing about TikTok is that it's very short videos that kids watch again and 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 again. And that is exactly how you program a meat computer. It's exactly how you make people think or write. You know, that's how you brainwash people. That's how
Yeah.
you write
That's how you
software
brainwash people. Yeah. You're
into a
exactly
meat
right.
computer. So and all the stuff that they're getting on there is like trans unicorn this. I saw videos of kids running around like they were literally like they were wolves or frogs or whatever. I'm like, and they're doing it because they see other kids do it, and if you make a video like that, you get positive attention and thumbs up and likes and stuff like that. So like there's this reinforcement mechanism that's
But
like if you act crazy, you get likes and videos and
but
serotonin release.
here's where I have a problem with some of this, is that we as adults and as a civilized and fairly civilized society, we want to think that all children are beautiful and have potential, right? Don't all
Mm,
children are beautiful and have potential to be
sure.
good? No, children are little fucking pricks, man. They're
Monsters.
little assholes. They're monsters, okay? They're
Yeah.
fucking monsters. All right?
Yeah.
Children are pricks and they grow up to be adult pricks. There are pricks in this world, okay? And they start off as children. Are there good and sweet children? Absolutely. I really hope, and I would bet my life that your girls will not grow up to be little pricks. I,
I
I
hope
would
not.
bet I would bet everything I own, because they're good people and they're being raised right and whatnot. But some people aren't, and some kids are just naturally pricks, and they grow up to be people pricks. So
Yeah.
I don't. I think we as a society look as
Are
all
are you
children
saying are you
are good
saying
and deserve love. No, all
that some
children are
kids
not.
are on a rough path and they're never going to get off and TikTok doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make them any worse. See, I think that
Well,
environment and
TikTok
conditioning
TikTok
makes a
makes it
tremendous amount of
worse.
difference. Are you saying it
TikTok
does make it
makes
worse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, it can
okay,
make it
okay, okay.
worse.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it
Um
fosters
now,
TikTok, and it's not the only one, but it has fought the narcissism in the world
yeah,
has it's unfreaking believable.
you are correct. It's
Unbelievable.
crazy.
The narcissism is it's fucking everywhere. It's not just like, ooh, yikes, that person's a little narcissistic. It's like, oh wow, that person's not narcissistic.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, this is a good time for me to mention if you guys haven't already, please hit like and subscribe.
You son of a bitch.
It's a
That
good
was
time.
hilarious. That
Okay.
was pretty good.
Let's see. So Joe Biden is trying to put a bunch of social media influencers to lead the lemmings into the next election in the White House. He wants to fill the briefing room of the
That
White House
stuff's
with
already been done, man.
TikTokers and Instagrammers.
That stuff's already been done.
Check this out. This is amazing. You're gonna love this. This is from PJ Media. An AI firm scraped 30 billion social media photos, and they took all of that data. They scraped it, they analyzed it, and then they handed it over to the government. They handed it over to the government for the government to use. One of the most notorious privacy breaching tech companies, Clearview AI, has, according to its CEO, scraped 30 billion social media photos, packaged, curated, and passed them to the surveillance state authorities to do with what they will. So here's the thing. In the United States of America, you have, I think it's the Sixth Amendment. That says that you have the right to not have your to not have unreasonable search and seizure. The federal government cannot, without reason, dig into you. They can't crawl your social media profile and dig into your stuff. But you know who can? Some Clearview AI, independent companies. They can go through all your public information and correlate it and cross-reference it with all of your other social media stuff and all of the other public things you do. They can create a profile of you,
so they
and then give it to the government. And the government's like, well, we didn't do it. Yeah. So welcome to the future, everybody.
You think you have laws.
Yeah.
Like when people say, we have free speech in America, and I'm like, we do.
Put it down.
What fucking year is this? And the gun control crap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't have guns, so we'll just limit the ammo.
Yeah, right. No.
We're not dumb.
So we're being led by bad guys. I'm gonna skip the tranny story this morning.
Is the illusion of a free country. We've been told that we have a free country, and we've brainwashed our people for so long that we have these die-hard, feverish people that just love America so much that they're blinded by the fact that America is broken. And there's some people that love America that don't want either side to have full fucking control. America's broken. We need to fix it, man. I want it to be the free country where if you wanted to start a freaking business where you made tinfoil hats and sold them in a store, you could actually do that and not be taxed out of your ass and ran out because the big fucking tinfoil hat Walmart was going to.
We've got a real problem that we've made over the last century where we are we have propped up our currency with war, and now we're propping up war to keep our currency afloat, and we're doing all of this to just stay on top. But like the rest of the world is aligning against us because the rest of the world is like, USA has been the hegemonic power for too long.
Since 1900, how many years has the United States been at war?
Oh my God. The majority. Not technical war, but essentially war. You know, the Congress has not voted for war since World War II.
America has been at war 222 out of 239 years since 1976 or 1776.
Oh, wow.
This was published in 2017. The U.S. has only been at peace for less than 20 years total since its birth. I wanted to check to get a better understanding and look at other countries in the world. This guy went on a mission.
Wow. Somebody asked that question and he did not like the answer that he found.
Not like the answer. America has been at war 93% of the time. So none of you freaking liberal assholes tell me that any of this bullshit that's going on in Ukraine and all this shit around the world don't have shit to do with America's fucking criminal bullshit. All right?
Yeah. Wow. All right.
It doesn't matter if it's Republicans. Republicans did it for
No.
the oil in the freaking desert, and the freaking liberals are doing it for the fucking oil in the fucking snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's all about keeping the US dollar the dominant currency in the world so that they can keep printing money, putting it in their own pockets, and being rich. That's what it's about.
My phone.
All right, let's hit a couple of these and then we can go. Oh, we got a few minutes left. Okay, so let's switch over to entertainment. I've got this news story from MovieWeb. Marvel, I know you're so excited about this. Marvel's Thunderbolts movie might be being rewritten to focus less on the Black Widow characters, Red Guardian, the Blonde Widow, whoever that is, and I guess that's Winter Soldier guy. Eric, let's see. The original script by Black Widow scribe Eric Pearson is being changed to allow other characters to shine. According to Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic, I heard that they scrapped the other guy's draft. One of the problems was that the Thunderbolts draft was that it was similar to what the Suicide Squad had, the David Ayer Suicide Squad. Get away from me, dog. Get away from me, dog. In that it was too focused on the Black Widow characters who are going to be in the Thunderbolts, and it was not equal enough for the team. So it very much emphasized the characters we already knew.
Why is this open and empty?
I think it's in my bag. It's in my bag. So it looks like. So let me just cruise by this for just a second. Deacon, did you like the Black Widow movie that came out a couple years ago? I don't even know if you're listening. Oh, he's on the phone. He's on the phone right now. Okay, so Black Widow movie came out a couple years ago. Black Widow, which was the, farewell movie to the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow, introduced the Red Guardian, introduced Yelena, Baklava, the blonde Black Widow. And I don't know if it introduced any other characters that anybody else cares about. But those two were standout, breakout characters in that movie that were really, really well liked, in my opinion. So the strategy seems to be we're going to focus less on the characters that people really, really like, and we're going to put more screen time onto characters that people don't know or we need to get them to like so that they will keep watching movies. So that's their strategy, I guess, for a Thunderbolts movie. So Thunderbolts would ostensibly probably have the new Captain America. What was it? He was like Patriot, maybe, or whatever they did that Winter Soldier Falcon TV show. And I think it's supposed to have like Red Hulk with Harrison Ford being Thunderbolt Ross. So there. Oh, Ghost. Yeah, it's supposed to have Taskmaster, the girl Taskmaster. It's supposed to have Ghost from the Ant-Man movie. And so they're going to focus less on the characters that are compelling, interesting, and charismatic, and more on the characters that you all probably forgot even existed. Okay, good plan, guys. Also, in movie TV news, Deke, there's a trailer that was aired at I don't know if it was D23 or if it was a Star Wars thing last week, but they had a trailer for The Acolyte, a new Star Wars TV show that takes place 100 years before the Force Awakens. So it takes place like 100 years ago. And The Acolyte tells the story from the perspective of the villains. So this is supposed to be, I think it's a TV show. So it's going to be like a Disney Plus TV show that basically follows a bunch of Sith.
Okay.
And it's being written or driven by this face that I feel like you can trust. This is Leslie Headland, a face you can trust. Somehow this woman looks like she has a mullet. Yeah. Okay. The Acolyte's executive producer, Leslie Headland, appeared at Star Wars Celebration. That's what it was. It wasn't D23. And provided new details about the upcoming Disney show, specifically noting the series tells the story from the perspective of the villains. while discussing the show and its placement in the timeline, she told attendees where the show is in the timeline and how she pitched the show.
Where is it in the timeline?
So
that's where I'm curious. Is it are they hunting Jedi?
It takes place 100 years before.
Oh, okay, good. Awesome.
100 years before
The
Force Awakens. So it's like Palpatine,
Good.
if he's even alive, he would be like very, very young.
I hope he's not alive.
Now that means that you probably would see a younger Yoda, and unless Disney doesn't like money, they should absolutely put a Yoda in there that's not dead.
Oh, yeah, Yoda was 900 something. So
that's exact. I mean, like that's of course you would do that.
And then you could have some of those other races. I don't know the longevity of some of those other races, but I mean, some of those other races might be long lived that you could have in there as well. But yeah, you could tell Plagueis, and you'd have Plagueis, and I don't know. I don't know. It could be cool. I like other stuff like this in Star Wars. Everything didn't have to be about space monks with laser swords. I mean, there's other shit that goes on in the galaxy, and I liked those stories. That's why I liked everybody's like, the book of Boba Fett, it sucks, and I hate it. And I thought it was fucking all right. I mean, wow, I'm not a lemming though. I don't fucking just go with the flow.
I mean, one of my favorite movies is Rogue One. Yes. Like that's one of the best Star Wars movies. That. Well, I like it. All right. I believe that this show is supposed to be female centric. So the star of the show is going to be a female character. So good. All right. Love that. And, hopefully she'll be like just a total boss, she'll just like whoop everything. That'll be great. She says, Headland said, I think one of the things that would be helpful in this kind of, to put this in perspective is that we're at the end of the High Republic era and moving into the Phantom Menace era. So as a fan, when I initially pitched this show to Kathleen Kennedy, which was an original idea with new characters not connected to the Skywalker saga or any of that other stuff, what I wanted it to introduce the fans to the concept was how you reconcile the Jedi at the height of their power.
Yeah,
I'm not going to win. She's going to win. I'm lost.
Yeah, not gonna.
Anyway, so
I think that okay, so this is what you said. You loved Rogue One. What did you like about Rogue One? I ask everyone because everybody says I loved Rogue One, and I want to know, what did you like about Rogue One? Why was that your favorite movie? Because they all died at the end?
No, not because they all died at the end. Because I thought, okay, so I liked the characters in that were going through the movie. One, unlike the prequels, I knew
Cassian?
that like whatever's. Yeah, I liked Cassian. I mean,
what'd you like about the characters?
I like that robot.
They were a little more morose and melancholy.
No, I would say that they knew that they were going in to do this mission and they probably couldn't get out, but it was important enough to do it and to do the mission.
Let me ask you this question. Would you have liked Rogue One? Do you think you would have liked that movie as much as you do if you would have seen it before you would have seen A New Hope, and you would have seen them both together? If you would have seen it out of order, do you think you would have liked the movie as much as you would have?
No, honestly, I honestly, and I'm being serious here. I think the weakest part of the movie was it connecting it to A New Hope. Like that was where they did the little tribute to Leia. I'm sorry.
See, this is where we watch movies different. That was one of the best parts of the movie. Was the bridging between the movies. Yeah.
Oh, really?
For me personally, only because I play Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars and role-playing games, and about 20 years ago, my buddy, we played Star Wars for a year, and my buddy told a story where we were the group that stole the plans for the Death Star and gave them to Leia. That movie. So when that movie came out, I texted my buddy and I was like, dude, they stole your Star Wars mission from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the movie, because they all died at the end.
Knowing that they wouldn't survive, right? Because I knew that going into the movie, knowing that they wouldn't survive, I knew that they had the chance to tell a story that didn't have to link up with some other stuff. Unlike the prequel trilogy, where you start with the 30-year history of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, or whatever, and it doesn't matter whatever you do, because whatever you do in the prequel stories, you have to end with Darth Vader and and this particular struggle set.
Okay.
And it to me, it was like I know they're not going to survive this mission. This is a suicide run to accomplish this mission. So really anything can happen. Yeah, I know they're going to die, but like, okay, but the creative possibility was like, they could, like, really anything could happen. So I liked the Forrest Whitaker character. I liked this. I think there was like
You know
prison,
what I
like they
think
were
you
kinda
like about
captured
it, and
prison
this
type
is what I
thing.
tell everybody. All right, this is why
Yeah.
I think everyone likes the Rogue One, and why everybody says
Oh,
I like
the monk,
Rogue One,
the stick, the
because
stick.
there's no damn Jedi. I didn't say Force.
It didn't.
There's still
Yeah,
Force.
it didn't.
And it shows you the Guardian of the Wheels and stuff like that. So it's like, look, there's other things out there that can manipulate the Force other than the fucking Jedi. All right, but
Right.
it didn't have any Jedi in it, and I think subconsciously that's why
Did not.
people are like, I really liked that movie. Well, it's because it didn't have laser
Well, it makes
swords
it
in it, and it told a different
it
story.
makes it a broader
And that is
universe,
why that's
like
why I've argued so many times that we're sick of seeing the laser monks, the space monks tell different stories
Yeah.
about the different stuff going on in the universe. But when they do that, people bitch. Because I don't like Boba
Right.
Fett. What the fuck,
Well,
man?
I
What do
mean,
you
like,
want?
you kind of have to have a balance though, because like I'm not advocating for it, but I mean, I recognize like the thing that looks fascinating about Star Wars is colored lightsabers waving around
No,
on screen.
not for me.
That is
not for me. In
right, because you
1984,
are an
that was
adult.
right. In 1984, that was right. It's
Right.
2023, and the
Yes.
Star Wars universe is more than
Yes.
just a bunch of people running around with colored swords. All right. It is a lot more than
Right.
that now. We have developed this whole mythos that in 3,000 years, somebody's going to come across this and say, I have found the diary of early man. Luke Skywalker was their savior. We've come up. This is how much of a mythos we have of Star Wars. Tell us some other stories, man.
Right.
That's what I do as
I
a
think
as a game master for our Star Wars
All right.
games.
So this is the last
Okay.
thing I'm going to say
Get
about
your
this.
joke ready.
Luke Skywalker Luke Skywalker for us as kids was
Hero.
a it was a hero. He did, and like everybody said it was the hero's journey. As a nobody nothing farmer, as a kid, you could be like, yeah, I mean, like I could be a nobody nothing farmer, and then an adventure happens, and you ride with him through that adventure, right? And you can vicariously kind of like experience like Luke Skywalker is out of his depth. He's out of his he is not well equipped for the things that come to him, but he kind of makes it through. And you as an audience member, as a little boy, you're like, I mean, like I could water the dirt or whatever, and then and this adventure happens. That could happen. Something like that could happen to me. That is the fantasy that you can live through. That is what is the most compelling thing about it. Now, what is the equivalent in all of the rest of Star Wars? Like, what is the thing that hooks in a kid and keeps them there? And because it allows them to bond with the character and then ride that character's journey. I don't know, because I haven't seen it in any of the stuff lately. Well, look, it was fun, but I haven't seen it. I don't know where the hook is for kids to bond.
Well, they're losing longtime
modern
fans that
Star
have been
Wars.
fans since the 70s. Since they came out, they're losing
Right.
us old timer dad fans, because I haven't watched any of the Mandalorian.
Really, she's not.
All right,
yet.
so join our Discord. That's all right. Let's wrap it up. I'm gonna go here.
Yeah. Let's go.
Join our Discord server. Give us a dad joke. JJ, arguing with my wife is like reading a software license agreement. In the end, I ignore it all and hit I agree. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, of course you do. That's not a joke. That's a fact. Hey, Deke, why did the cookie cry?
No,
He was feeling
that's
crummy.
terrible, JJ. You're not prepared.
Yep,
You're
that's
prepared.
a bad one.
How dare you? How dare you? Stolen my
All right,
That was
bye, everybody.